Next up, at UFC Tampa, we have an old versus a young. We have a changing of the guard. And Dustin Jacoby's not that old, and I'm actually a big fan of Dustin Jacoby's, but this certainly feels like the UFC trying to rebuild Vitor Petrino because he kind of had a little bit of a falter in his last fight when he was submitted very, very quickly by Anthony Smith. Vitor Petrino, 11-1 in his career, 4-1 in his last 5. And I mentioned he's coming off that first ever loss of his career, taking on Dustin Jacoby, 19-9 in his career. An unfortunate 1-4 in his last 5. He is coming off that knockout loss to Dominic Reyes. Dustin Jacoby was a high-level kickboxer. During that kickboxing stint, he was ranked number 2 in the world. He does a good job keeping things technical. He does a good job working your legs. He does a good job being technically sound while having some good power and some good volume. He has a 60% takedown defense, but that number is understated. He's got solid takedown defense, does a good job making you pay on the way in. He is coming off that unfortunate knockout loss to Dominic Reyes, which has confirmed that his chin may not be what it once was. He's taking on Vitor Petrino. This guy is an absolute monster. He is still a work in progress. He's got a big boy left hook. He's a dangerous striker. He is evolving into a grappler. He has 16 takedowns in 5 fights. His takedown defense is just okay, but he does a nice job working his way back up and avoiding danger. He is still very green. He is evolving as a fighter, and he is learning more and more every time he steps in the cage. The problem for a lot of people is he does need to button some things up. He's coming off that submission loss to Anthony Smith where he had a takedown after getting his legs blasted and then was guillotined. My issue with that wasn't, fraud check, because I do think most people use the term fraud check wrong. I do not think you're a fraud if you lose to somebody as accomplished as Anthony Smith the way he lost. Now, if Anthony Smith walked him down and beat him bell to bell in every aspect of MMA, then maybe you can call him a fraud. When one of the Bonfim brothers absolutely got tooled around, okay, I could kind of see that. But that's not what happened with Vitor. His legs got beat up, so he made the correct decision to say, let me shoot a takedown here, and he left his neck out, and he got sucked up. So that is what it is. My bigger issue is not the loss. My bigger issue is he didn't seem to give a shit. And maybe that was just him in the moment in Brazil being like, trying to laugh it off. And hopefully it fueled something in the gym after the fight because he literally did not seem to care at all. And that is a problem. I am going to pick Vitor Petrino here. He is big, strong, fast, athletic. He has cardio. He hits hard as hell. Dustin's chin seems to have a couple of cracks in it. So I got to go with Vitor Petrino here. But a Dustin Jacoby of old with the good takedown defense and the very good striking could sneak something out. I just think times are changing. Vitor Petrino is going to be the pick here, but I really, really hope he's not just going to smile his way through this without a care in the world. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I've kind of been going back and forth about this fight because I was the same way. I saw that reaction. I'm like, oh, this guy's a fucking loser. Fuck this guy. You have all these fucking physical abilities in the fucking world. You look like one of the most beautiful men I've ever seen in my life. Vitor Petrino. You go in there, lay an egg, and you just think it's funny. And it's like, fuck you, man. You know, people are just killing themselves with competitiveness that don't have fucking 10% of the talent you were given. And you're just in there fucking laughing and giggling after you just lost in front of your home fans. And I was like, you know what? He probably was just kind of embarrassed. And a lot of times when you're embarrassed, you kind of like, oh, shit, like, it could have been more of an embarrassment thing, but still, I mean, at the end of the day, I want somebody that's fucking pissed about that, man. Like, even like Clay Guida, like, when he got choked out, it's like, he's pissed. He gets up, he's like, fuck, man. And he's like fucking, he was supposed to, he was a plus 900 dog, whatever it was. This guy, Vitor Petrino, was a big favorite, came in and lost, and it's like, fucking give a shit. So, I believe that this fight is going to be exactly like the Alonzo Meadowfield fight. And the reason why Dustin Jacoby lost that fight was because it was touch, drop or stunned, and then he ended up losing rounds because of that. And against a guy like Vitor Petrino, who isn't discouraged, really. I mean, you saw with the leg kicks, he shot the takedown, but against a guy like Dustin Jacoby, I don't think it's going to be as dangerous with Anthony Smith, even though they are teammates. So maybe there's some familiarity. They were able to share something, whatever it was, but it was a pretty short fight, so I don't think anything was crazy like that's going to happen. But I think Dustin's probably going to try and just touch and frustrate this guy, and I think there's a game plan to that. Wait for Vitor to make the mistake, but Vitor's a guy that stays in your face, and if he lands that shot, Dustin Jacoby's chin you saw start cracking. Then it did get cracked. That was kind of a bad knockout as well. So I got to go with the big Brazilian here, my Brazilian brother Vitor. But I fucking hate the guy, man.
You hated Loopy for a while too for same type reaction.
Bad
performances.
The good thing, and I think he's married though. But the good thing about Amanda not being on this card anymore, I saw her fight was announced on this card. I literally think it was like an hour later. I literally think it was like an hour later. They're like, oh, also Vitor Petrino's on this card. Damn it. No, the most beautiful man I've ever seen. You're going to have Amanda walking around in the back with the most beautiful man I've ever seen in my life, Vitor Petrino. I can't have that. So at least that's the only positive that came out of that situation. But
only Uggos at UFC Vegas 101. So we
good. We need more fucking that was your chance to
Motobeck oral buys.
No, it was your chance to do who's the guy you said looked like me earlier in the card?
Oh, Davy Grant.
Yeah, we need more Davy Grants, right?
We're both on the same side here. I do think it can be interesting because Vitor Petrino, plenty of power, plenty of takedowns, but he's not a killer, right? He'll find his spots, but he's not a killer, right? He's athletic. He's working through things, but he doesn't come out and bite down his mouthpiece like, I am going to finish you.
He can't eat a shot. I mean, he'll eat a shot and just, he does like the...
Yeah.
Did you see that meme with Kai, too? Of literally Kai threw like a leaping fucking all of his weight into it, left hand, boom, right on the button on Pantoja, right around the guard, just fucking, he literally is like on one foot in the screenshot as it's landing, all the power, and the next screenshot is Pantoja standing there like this. And it's like when you landed everything you had, and and Pantoja literally went like this, like that was it. Like it's like, oh fuck, you're fucked now.
Pantoja could take a shot, man. He ate those wild Kaya Sakura knees
Vitor literally does the same thing. I mean, he takes 205ers and he literally will just go like, okay.
Yeah. Well, we're both on the same side here, and if you want to check out the picks, the bets, the tools, and see if the artificial intelligence is on our side, see if Artem is on this side as well, you can do so now. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. At the top, it is only $10 for an entire month.